Cool, yeah. Sorry about the last minute. I was meant to be working, so I didn't know if I was going to be doing the show. So then I didn't get a guest, and then it was all just like kind of last minute.
Yeah.
Have you sat here before? It's way better, isn't it?
Yeah, no, one time I think I did. I was always wondering why didn't we ever go back? Like, why didn't you ever go back to? I don't know how many times you ever did it.
No, I've done it a few. Do you know what it was? I think it's because like sometimes when we were only doing an hour,
Yeah.
I just thought, it's just long dragging out the
Yeah.
thingy or whatever. But it's just actually way better because when we're filming, it's just like when I'm slicing up the videos, I don't have to have 3 cameras.
Yeah.
Because I can just like
get the wide angle and
then I can and then I can just cut it up in the middle.
Yeah, it's easy.
So it's actually better.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you see the Trump thing?
What, in the White House like press conference?
Yeah, no, with him and Zelensky. It's like him, Zelensky, and
No, I haven't even
you
seen it.
didn't see it? Oh
Nah,
my, it's so good.
Nah. It's probably in my bookmarks.
No, it just happened like in the last couple of hours.
Yeah, it's probably on my Twitter bookmarks.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's so fun. And
What
they're just like arguing. But it's just it was so jokes.
Is it that Trump gets into a heated argument? Because I haven't watched it.
Yeah. Oh man,
Yeah,
it's like 10 minutes, and it's just like
what are they even
it's like a
talking
scene
about?
out of like. Have you seen Succession?
Yeah.
It's like that. It's just.
Oh man.
They're just trying to like get to a deal or whatever, and they're just.
That is so funny.
He's like, oh, this isn't gonna happen. Blah 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 blah. It's just like, so funny.
God, no, yeah, I need to watch that. There's something I feel like I bookmark. I'm actually at work all day bookmarking tweets and videos, and I just
it only happened like at 6 o'clock, 2 hours ago.
I need to watch that. And I need to also watch the second press conference with Eubank and Ben because apparently that.
I didn't watch the whole thing.
I only watched like the highlights from the one where he got egged. I watched the latest one.
Boxing press conferences aren't usually that good, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I watched the highlights from it, and there was like the next one so that he wouldn't the security like sort of scans.
Egg detector.
Yeah.
Mate, they missed the perfect opportunity to say put detector like
yeah, I know. I saw someone say that.
Sense,
yeah.
Like.
And then they had and then because you know when he egged him.
Yeah.
Because I think that when I rewatched it yesterday, I think he had more than one egg. I think he egged.
I mean, he did post a picture with like.
No, I know, but I think he egged. I think Eubank egged Conor Ben with more than one egg. What I'm trying to.
You think so? Or you think he grabbed like 2 of them?
I think he had at least 2 in his hand because when you watch the replay, the amount of yolk that comes out, that's not from one egg. That's just not from one egg. So I think there was at least 2 that he used because he had like 8 in his pocket. So I think he.
Maybe because I guess in that moment you probably just just grab whatever and just.
Yeah, because he's thinking I don't want to miss or something.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
it was just incredible. And I think what Eddie Hearn said was making me laugh because he was like, oh, he feels like because if you see Ben Shalom, who's the promoter for the boxer. Eddie Hearn was like shoving him during the melee, and he was like, "Oh, I think they were all involved," because he was like, "There's no way Chris Eubank was just walking around Tesco trying to get eggs," kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he thinks that he was involved and stuff like that, and the build-up's just been great.
I'm loving Eddie Hearn and Ben Shalom, like their whole thing, and also, I mean, even Eddie Hearn against Chris as well. Like, I think it's just so good. Like. Yeah. I've heard a couple of people say that Eubank's handling Eddie in terms of like like he's winning the press conference. I don't know, man. I think Eddie, like, I don't even think anyone can chat to him in terms of like talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely got under Eddie's skin, and usually Eddie's quite a cool customer. He doesn't really care, but I think Eubank's so sort of calm.
Yeah, like
and he is very good with his on the mic.
Like that's the thing. Like with Eubank, you can't really knock him, as in like you can't knock him off his balance kind of thing. He just likes to slow things down. He clearly likes the sound of his own voice. And you're gonna listen to him no matter what.
He's very calculated.
Like he'll talk like really slow and like kind of force you to listen to him. Yeah. And Conor Ben he has no patience. He'll just be like start talking like, you know what I mean? Like, no one cares. Blah, blah, blah. Because he's so irritable. It's such a good matchup because of that. Because he's so fiery. Like he's just so angry all the time. So when I saw the egg thing, I was just like, this is already a guy with like anger issues.
The dynamic between them is very good.
It's so good.
I think that Conor Ben gets so rattled.
He's so riled
He's
up.
very like, because I don't know if you've seen. I don't know if you've watched the fights with. Chris Eubank Senior and Nigel Ben.
Ages ago.
I don't know if you've watched it, but there was a good documentary called Four Kings, and like that too. It's about them as well, and it sort of goes through their rivalry. And it's kind of like that. Eubank is so, like Chris Eubank Senior is very, he speaks like he's
a gentleman,
like a royal family guy.
Yeah.
And Nigel Benn, who's from like the East End of London, he's like he's quite common, and he's like, he's the same. He was just like, I hate him, I don't like him, I want to rip his head off. And Chris Eubank's like, I don't hate him, I just want to beat him, sort of thing. Yeah. And that's how their sort of rivalry is as well. It's just like,
it is huge. Crazy. I mean, I'm sure it'd be a great fight either way. I do just kind of wish they were the same size, though, just for the sake of like complications.
I think, but if you check the odds, I mean, Eubank's the favourite, but not by much. And people talk about size, but
as in for the sake of convenience, like, you know, like I get their dads fought, but I mean, like, as in I wish that.
But their dads are like the same size, though. That's
what I mean. I wish that they just grew up and they were the same size, and this whole like moving up, moving down thing wasn't even a factor. I'm not saying it's massive. I'm sure like whoever's a better fighter will win, but I just wish that kind of wasn't.
I know what you mean, because it's like if Conor Benn loses, he can be like, oh well, I'm the smaller guy.
Yeah.
But But to be honest, there'll be controversy either way, because if Conor Benn loses, he can go, oh, well, I'm the smaller guy, I took the risk, blah, blah, blah. But then if Conor Benn wins and Eubank loses,
the bigger guy,
Eubank will be like, oh, well, he beat me because he's a cheater or whatever. So it's just going to be interesting. I can't wait, though.
I think it's going to be so good.
Yeah, the whole country will be watching, because obviously
that is a massive fight.
The first fight was when their parents fought, the whole country watched, and it was, I mean, their dads are obviously bigger names than those two, but it's going to be...
But I feel like just with the internet being a thing and everything, like...
Yeah, but I think a lot of people are like, if you know the history of this rivalry, which everyone does, the previous generation, people that don't watch boxing, people in the UK... Boxing is so big in the UK, it's like, people in the mainstream media will be talking about this and other fights. You don't really get that in other countries, but they're not talking about boxing on, say, this American equivalent of TalkSport or... whatever else. People are always talking about boxing when it's in the mainstream in the UK, so that's why it's massive.
It is massive. I can't wait. Two massive names, quite big names, and obviously Eddie Hearn as well. Like it is going to be big. I'm excited.
I kind of want, no matter what happens, I hope there's a rematch.
I think there will be. I mean, from what I saw in the press conference highlights in the first one, they've kind of already agreed it.
Well, it depends how the fight goes.
Well, because like basically, I think Eddie Hearn was saying, they wanted, like, they signed because they wanted a rematch, as in they want 2 fights. They wanted a 2-fight deal. Yeah. And Ben Shalom's whole thing is, because it's too easy paydays kind of thing. But obviously, deep down, they'll probably also just cover in case they lose as well. Like, it's just, so I think they will fight more than once.
They probably will. I mean,
I doubt one of them will just be like, nah, I don't want to fight.
It sort of depends, because if Eubank beats Ben to a boring decision, no one's going to be able to want to watch it. Do you know what I mean? So there might not be a rematch because of that. But if Conor Benn wins, no matter how he wins, there will 100% be a rematch.
Yeah, I guess Eubank's A side, isn't he?
No, he's. I'd say Eubank's the A side.
That's what I said.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said Ben's the A side. Yeah. Eubank is the A side. Yeah, but I'm saying if Conor Benn wins, there will 100% be a rematch.
Yeah, probably.
And also if the fight is, say, a barn burner where it's back and forth, no matter who wins, there'll be a rematch. Yeah, there should be. As long as the fight's good, there'll be a rematch, basically, in my opinion.
I think it really will be, to be honest.
It's gonna be violent, and then I think that's why I'm excited. That's why I'm not really bothered about Eubank or Ben, the size difference. I'm just kind of thinking they're gonna put everything out on the line because they want to win so bad. And Ben is the smaller fighter, but he knew what he signed up for 3 years ago. Yeah. So I don't think it really matters.
Do you reckon whoever wins will get like a Canelo fight?
I think. Well, to be honest, Ben is way too small to fight Canelo. But if Eubank wins, he could possibly fight Canelo. But I think Canelo is fighting in a couple of months. He's got like a gimme fight, and then he's fighting Terence Crawford later in the year, and then maybe Jake Paul this year. So the only way I could see him fighting Chris Eubank Jr. is if it's at the end of the year or start of next year kind of thing. Or he doesn't fight Benavidez for whatever reason, or whoever. But Canelo's got a lot of other names that he could fight instead of...
Yeah, I mean, everyone wants it.
I mean, he can make... Because the thing is, with Canelo, he can fight anyone and make millions of dollars. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to fight... I can't remember who he's fighting. He's fighting a gimme fight.
Some guy that he has to... Oh, wait, no.
No, it's not
that's Bivol, actually.
It's not a mandatory, no. No. When he fought Bivol, he went up to one.
No, I'm saying Bivol has a mandatory one, doesn't he? Apparently.
Benavidez.
Yeah,
well, no, it's not actually mandatory. That's only because he is undisputed. He has all the belts.
Right.
So I don't think it is mandatory.
Right. Well, I mean, he's going to fight Beterbiev again, isn't he? So.
Well, no, it's up to Beterbiev. If Beterbiev wants to fight the trilogy, which I think he does, then he will. But if he doesn't, he's got options. You never know. Because Canelo's wanted the rematch with Bivol for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
You never know. He might. You never know. If he beats Crawford, he might say, "Oh, I'll go up to 175 and rematch Bivol, or fight Jake Paul or whatever." Canelo's got a lot of options. Everyone wants to fight him, and he's a massive payday for whoever fights him. So yeah, boxing is really exciting at the moment, I think.
Yeah, I might even actually pay a bit more attention.
You should really, because once you do, I mean, I'm still obviously MMA is still the sport I'm into the most, but because of Saudi and all these, not even just because of Saudi, but all these other promoters like Matchroom and Queensbury and all of these guys now working together, you're seeing better fights.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I think they've kind of just, well, I mean, it's not something that's hard to work out, but like they've worked out like, look, if we just spend more money and put more fights on, maybe we won't make as much right now, but in the long term, eventually every card will be good, and then people will just keep buying and actually get more invested. Because now I feel like with me as like part of the audience, I kind of want to.
You want to get into it more.
I want to know who everyone is basically. So then I'll probably tune into every card.
And the good thing about boxing, there is so many boxers
and so many
and promoters and different stuff. Yeah,
because it is a bigger sport than like MMA.
Oh, 100%.
So it's massive. Like, you know what I mean?
It's massive. Yeah, and it's definitely, and obviously, like I said, in the UK, it's. When there's a big fight in the UK, everyone's watching it. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's watching. When Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua is fighting, the whole country is watching. Do you know what I mean? So it's massive here. Boxing's massive.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, there's a lot of fights I do want to see. I mean, did you watch any of the boxing last week? Like Beterbiev Bivol?
No, I didn't even I was out.
Oh, the fight. I don't know if did you watch the first fight?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
The first fight was incredible.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the best boxing matches I'd seen for a while. But that second fight was even better. It was just from start to finish, just amazing. And I scored it 7 rounds to Bivol and 5 rounds to Beterbiev. It was just incredible. It was just a proper back and forth. But Bivol, for me, definitely won.
Yeah. What I couldn't believe was when I found out the result was in the first fight, like Bivol almost fought like a perfect fight. Like I watched him. I remember I was just sitting there scoring the rounds myself, and I was just like, this guy fought like immaculately, but he got caught a couple times and he lost basically. Like he definitely had more volume, but he didn't do as much damage. So I feel like as in I didn't feel like he was robbed, but Beterbiev won in my opinion. But then the second, I just thought there's no way he's gonna come out and fight perfectly again. Like there's just no. I thought maybe this time he might even get chinned. Bro, he
did though. That's the thing, and his chin is just one of the best chins. But Beterbiev hit him with some heavy, like snapped his head back a few times.
Like what I mean, I thought he'd get like potentially knocked out because there's just no way you can fight that precise.
And you got to think, Beterbiev, his whole career, apart from these 2 fights, he's never gone to a decision. These are the only 2 fights in his whole career that he's gone to a decision.
Yeah.
And for me, in the first fight, it was so close, like so. It didn't whoever won, it wasn't a robbery. It was a good decision either way. But for me, I think Beterbiev won. But most people think Bivol won the first fight, but it was close.
I mean, I remember because I remember I had like a free bet, so I put it on Beterbiev split decision, and he won by majority decision.
Yeah, because there was a draw.
I was devastated.
Well, Bivol won by a majority decision this time.
Yeah,
one of the judges gave it a draw.
I just remember looking at it like. I feel like I wanted to give it to Bivol, but I knew. I bet on Bivol split. Oh no, apologies.
Beterbiev.
I bet on Beterbiev split, and then he won a majority. And I remember thinking like, I was just so close. And two just unbelievable fighters.
It was just incredible. Yeah.
Just give them whatever they want, and just let them do their thing.
Yeah, Russians are so good at fighting, just in general.
Yeah, man.
And obviously they're both Russian, so it's just like.
Yeah, like they've known who each other are for
because I think I think they were in the Olympic team for Russia.
National,
I think in London actually, and Beterbiev actually fought Usyk in the Olympics. I think it was like 2008 or 2012. I think he dropped him as well. But they're just the elite of the elite. I mean, if they fought 100 times, you'd watch it 100 times.
Yeah, genuinely, they'd probably be like 50-50, like 51-49. Genuinely.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, like about. Because people talk about boxing versus MMA, which is a better sport. Like, I feel like the floor for MMA is higher, but the ceiling for boxing is higher. If that makes sense.
What do you mean? How?
The absolute best boxers, pound for pound, are like better than, in my opinion, than like the best MMA fighters. If that makes sense.
Right.
Because there's more of them, and like it's just a more like refined sport because it's like an older sport and everything.
Right.
Whereas with MMA, it's more widespread. so it's like harder to like. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with that, but when you watch the elite of the elite boxers, it's like this is like a masterclass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. I don't know if I agree though, because if you're watching the best of the best in mixed martial arts, the very best fighters, there is such a skill gap. Not such a skill gap, but you can see, wow, you're watching the best right now.
Yeah.
But when you're watching, say, I don't know, John Jones in his prime, or Habib or Anderson Silva, you're like, wow, this guy is so far ahead of everybody else, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a fair point. I do know what you mean. Yeah.
Like I think, okay, let's just say the rankings, like boxing, like the rankings. Yeah, I feel like the champion, and let's just say the 10th contender, would be much closer than the champion in MMA and the 10th contender, if that makes sense.
Right. I don't know if that's because okay, if you think of say heavyweight is a bad example.
Is that because I'm trying to say because there's like a bigger gap.
So you're saying there's a bigger gap in boxing, or you're saying there's a bigger gap in MMA? Which one?
Basically, I'm trying to say the elite of the elite in boxing is like higher, but like the worst MMA fighters still have to have essentially more going.
Oh, so you're saying that the average fighter in MMA is better than the average fighter in boxing, but the best fighter in boxing is better than the best fighters in MMA? I
think so, yeah. Like right. It's hard. It's really hard to like
So
articulate.
for example, you're sort of saying, let's just say the pound for pound number one in boxing right now is
Usyk.
Let's just say. You're saying that he's better than, say, the pound for pound number one in MMA right now.
Like I would say
Islam Makhachev is.
I would say yeah, like he's more dominant of a fight. He's harder to beat than like say going up against an Islam. But I know it's so weird saying out loud because I'm thinking about Islam. Like,
Islam's only lost once, sort of thing. I know Usyk's undefeated though. Yeah, so yeah, it's
you see how Usyk just runs through everyone and makes them look ordinary, whereas Islam kind of seems a bit beatable.
I get what you're saying, but then that's just one example, because then if you look at, say, the guy that's second in the rankings, which is like, I don't know, John Jones, he's never lost. So it's like...
But then he's had fights that people thought he's really lost, like
Reyes. Yeah, and other fights. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I mean...
I just think there's a lot finer, like, okay, another way I could sort of put it is I think that there's finer lines in boxing. Like with boxing, I know because obviously there's a limited skill set because you're only kind of using like you can only punch. Like I feel like you can watch a title fight in MMA and more often than in boxing, like the champion will just dominate. Well, whoever wins will dominate like the number one contender, and you'll realize, wow, these actually.
Oh, in boxing.
In MMA, like in MMA. The champion could be miles ahead of number one contender, like not even close. Like they could, whereas in boxing, I just feel like that doesn't happen as often.
Do you know what? I think I disagree. I would say it's the complete other way around, because if you look at, say, Usyk is a great example. He's only just gone up to heavyweight, but he was the number one at cruiserweight. None of these other cruiserweights were anywhere near him. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And none of them were near him. But then if you look at, say, the best fighters in MMA, let's just say the pound for pound number one right now is, I don't know, Pereira, Islam, Topuria. Is the next best guy in those divisions, do they have a chance of winning? Say like Arman, Sarukian, who's next at light heavyweight? I guess light heavyweight, Alex Pereira is just running through everyone. And same with, say, Topuria at the moment. So it's hard, it's hard to say.
It is really hard. It's like such a hard thing to think about. Like I always try and think about it and I get confused myself.
I think as well, do you know what it is as well? I think what the difference is, in boxing, the being undefeated sort of means more.
Oh, 100%. Like,
so
that's
like it's starting to right now. Boxers, because of the money in Saudi Arabia, boxers are taking more risk.
That's the thing. That's one thing why I always kind of lean towards MMA when I was kind of getting into watching combat sports. It's just like everyone seems undefeated. Like, okay, well, why aren't the undefeated guys fighting? And when I kind of realized that, like, I think one of the first ones that I kind of heard of where it was like that would have been like, well, not one of the first, but okay. See, when Ryan Garcia went up against Devin Haney, and it was like two undefeated guys. I remember.
No, he had already lost.
He had already lost.
He had lost.
So which fight was? I'm trying to think.
No. So he fought Tank Davis, and they were both undefeated.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it was you that said to me like, oh, that's kind of unheard of, like two young sort of prospect, like undefeated going up against each other. I'm thinking, why though? Like, whereas in MMA, like fighters, but then you realize it's because in MMA the fighters have way less power and everything, and they kind of just have to go up. Whereas in boxing, there's just so much more money.
Exactly. So Ryan Garcia,
you don't want to risk it. Basically.
Exactly. So when Ryan Garcia fought Tank Davis, he went down to 135. His usual weight class is 140, and there was a rehydration clause. So in MMA you can. Say you got to weigh in at 170, and then you can balloon up to 200.
You do what you want,
He put in a clause, Tank Davis, to be like, well, it's not fair. So he had to be a certain weight the night of the fight as well. So it affected the performance. Yeah. And also Tank Davis, people are critical of him. He's not fighting the other lightweight champions. He hasn't fought Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah, I think
he hasn't fought Keyshawn Davis, and he hasn't fought, who's the other lightweight champ? Teofimo Lopez. So at 135, none of those guys have actually fought each other. Garcia took the risk and went down. He lost, but it was like people being undefeated doesn't mean as much anymore in boxing. Whereas in MMA, it's like, oh, you lose one,
like
you can come back.
You've got fighters that started off with a negative record in UFC and ended up being champions.
Exactly, and it's just, exactly 100%. But I slowly think in boxing, the undefeated record, people see Floyd Mayweather and he was 50-0. But I think people are, because the big fights are happening because of Saudi Arabia and Turkey and all these promoters, it's like if you lose one, it doesn't matter. Like Bivol and Beterbiev were undefeated until they fought each other. Yeah. Even though, to be fair to them, they had fought everyone. But they were undefeated. Now they've both got a loss on their record. It doesn't take anything away from them. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Usyk is undefeated and AJ's lost now and Fury's lost now. It doesn't really matter. You still want to see them fight.
That's what I mean. And I'd rather see guys take a risk, and because that's what it kind of means to be great anyway. Like, what's the point of just I've got a clean record, but like I didn't fight that one guy. Like, I don't know. I like that. There's so much money now they can't say no, really.
Well, Tank is still kind of saying no because he hasn't done any business with Saudi and he hasn't fought any of the lightweight champions. He's fighting tomorrow, but it's like he's fighting a guy Lamont Roach, which he should win easily.
Yeah.
I want to see him fight the other lightweight champions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, well, maybe Shakur next.
I want to see him fight. Yeah. I mean, that fight should have happened years ago. So that is what's frustrating because there's still one or two fights that aren't happening, which is annoying. But for the most part, the big fights in boxing are happening.
Yeah, well, that's good, man. Just pump loads of money into it, and then long term, they're going to be. I mean, they're laughing now, but they're going to be laughing long term. Because eventually, every card will just be so good that people will just buy it. Everyone's going to be so invested.
Yeah, because usually with boxing, you watch it for the main event and maybe a decent co-main event. That card.
Now they've got stats cards.
That Riyadh card with Beterbiev and Bivol rematch. Every fight, the best fight of the night. Oh well, the main event was incredible, but Joshua Buatsi versus Smith was unbelievable. One of the best fights I've seen, and a lot of people, boxing fans, were saying that was the best card that they've seen. I mean, it's a shame that Dubois pulled out and Schofield pulled out.
Yeah, I know.
But the fights were amazing. They were really, really good. Really, the best boxing card I've probably watched.
Yeah, can't wait for Dubois to get back in the mix because I need to see, how
well, I think now they're gonna do. It's a shame for Joseph Parker because Dubois is the champion.
Yeah,
like he has one of the belts, but obviously he pulled out. Parker still took the fight. Now it's like, well, is Dubois going to fight Usyk in the rematch?
Yeah.
But that's kind of unfair because Parker was the one that showed up. Really, Parker deserves to fight Usyk.
I know. I guess they're probably just going to have to do that one again. Well, not again. They're going to have to just do it.
Well, I think they might screw him over and do Usyk Dubois and then do AJ versus Fury or AJ versus Parker, I think.
I mean, if there's one fight I need, it's AJ Fury because that would be the biggest British fight ever.
And they're still, it's not like they're washed or anything. They're still,
exactly,
in my opinion, elite heavyweights.
Like, that's the thing, like, Usyk may have did what he did and
he beat them both twice.
Beat them both, not bad, but, he beat them both and he won convincingly, yeah. That doesn't mean that they're washed. They just went up against the best guy. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, against anyone else, they still look great.
Exactly. I mean, before that, Tyson Fury had never lost before, and it's not like they were getting finished. Neither guy got finished or anything. And I just want to see. I just think Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua.
That would be unreal. I would stop everything to watch.
The whole country would be watching. It would be so massive.
I would stop everything to watch that. I wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like, and there's a million other people that would like. I would buy that myself. That I would buy that.
100. I would try my best to get tickets because honestly, that would sell out Wembley. In 2 minutes, it would just
literally like that would be such an event. Because the thing is, I don't even care who wins. I just like that would just be such an event, no matter who. Like the only way, if like the fight was just like a boring 12 rounds, which is impossible. Like I don't see.
Yeah.
Like whoever wins, it's just that would be insane. Like that would be history. That would be crazy.
That would just be a
that.
spectacle. And I think, like I said, it would be a massive cultural moment. And I think the whole country would be watching.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even know who I would want to win because
that's what I mean.
They're two of my favourite fighters.
I do really love both fighters. I like both characters.
I just want the best man to win if that does happen.
I just want, whoever, like the better fighter, the better man to just go win.
And also, if it's a good fight, I'll watch it again.
Yeah, I'll watch a rematch.
Yeah. And the thing is, it would just be incredible. It would be incredible, you know.
They just have to do it, though.
They have to do it. They got to do it this year. Early next year at the latest. It would sell out Wembley, get all the big names there, get Saudi Arabia involved. Because when AJ fought Daniel Dubois at Wembley, the way they done it, even though it was Saudi, the way they done that fight was incredible. Massive, it was just huge. Every AJ fight is huge, but that would be even. And also the amount of money that they would make would just be.
Oh mate, they could be like 150 million or something like that. That's something stupid.
Oh, it'd be ridiculous. It would, and the amount of it would just be a huge event. I want to see that bad.
Honestly, everyone in the country, because the thing is, AJ or Fury, either of them could kind of just fight anyone, and everyone would pretty much watch because everyone knows who.
It's such a big name.
But then when you've got both names together, it's like everyone and their nan will watch.
That would
be ridiculous.
That could arguably be the biggest fight in boxing, and I don't mean for boxing fan. I just mean in terms of eyeballs.
People outside, way outside the sport, watching that.
Oh, 100%.
People that have never watched a boxing match will watch that.
Yeah, 100%. I think it'd be one of those moments where you're like, wow, if you're not a boxing fan, you'd have to watch.
Even celebrities would find it hard to get into that kind of thing. It would be the real top of the top. A-listers that would be at the thing kind of thing. That is how crazy that
it would be huge. It really would be huge. Oh, I just hope we see it.
I think we will. I just think there's no way, especially guys that, plus now they both really got something to prove as well. Cause they they don't, but you know what I mean? They both lost and they're just well, what's the best way to get your cred back?
Yeah.
Fight the biggest fight in history and win.
There's
no way they wouldn't do that.
And also a win would be massive because let's just say they do still have ambitions to beat Usyk or Dubois, whoever will be champion at the
Winning
time.
that fight.
Winning that fight is well, listen, I'll have one more run at the title. And it would be massive. I'd want to see it more than anything. More than anything.
More than you believe.
More than you believe. What was I going to say? Did you see Paddy Power paid out everyone that had bet on Liverpool at the start of the season?
Did they?
Yeah. So when Arsenal lost to West Ham, I got a notification be if you bet on Liverpool to win the league, we paid everyone out. So Ben actually bet on Liverpool at the start of the year. He put on 60 quid. He got back nearly 350 or something.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, he put it on at the start of the season. And they paid out everyone that had bet on them at the start of the season.
I remember looking back at the start, I feel so stupid now, but when I was thinking about who would win the league, I went with City, but I did have a feeling that if it wasn't City, it'd be Arsenal.
I remember saying, I remember at the start of the season saying that City will win the league, but Liverpool will finish second, and I said Arsenal would finish third or fourth.
Yeah, that's the thing. You've got people all kinds of people that said, some people said Slot would just not do it and that they were going to underachieve this year, whereas some people somehow knew that Liverpool would overachieve kind of thing.
I did,
there's videos of people certain football influencers and that saying, I think Slot will do this and that, and they were actually right. I'm how the hell did you know?
I never thought. As a Liverpool fan, I just thought, wow, we're going to miss Klopp. And then obviously in the summer, we didn't sign any. We didn't sign one. We signed a goalkeeper, and then we sent him out on loan. We didn't sign an outfield player, I don't think.
Yeah, that's that whole team. They had that whole team last year.
Well, we've had that whole team for years, actually.
They had Soboslai and McAllister. This is their second season.
Yeah. But everyone else had been there for years.
Gravenberch was there last year, just on the bench.
Yeah,
so that's mad. They didn't have any kind of restructuring. They just had a new manager.
But I do think Liverpool. Next season will need to sign players because you can't just
I think
the same team forever and keep winning. You need to sign players.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, they do need some reinforcement.
Because I personally think Salah and Van Dijk will stay. Trent will leave, which is fine, but I think those two will definitely stay, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But even if they did stay, everyone stays. Those three, I still think we should sign some players where we're just to get some competition.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. We need to. And players will leave as well. I think Núñez will leave, and I think maybe one or two others might leave. I don't know who doesn't play every game. We'll fight. We need to buy some players.
Maybe a Tsimikas might think about leaving, or
something like that.
People like that. But they've been incredible. Liverpool have been incredible this year.
We really have been.
It's been a bit of a movie watching them. They've just been so good.
It's been
Slot, and I just really am excited to see Slot in the next 3, 4, 5 years now, because Look, I don't think you can fluke a league because you have to do it consistently every week. But I'd love to just see him, like, is he going to be top 2, top 3 every year? Is he going to have a year where he falls off a bit and then comes back? Like,
Maybe.
I just want to see what he's up to.
It's weird because also if you look at the rest of the league, it's like, it's strange because I don't think, okay, so like I was saying, I don't think Pep is at the level
like where he can do it anymore.
But then I still think that, but at the same time, maybe he will because the competition in the rest of the league at the top of the league is not at the highest. Liverpool are obviously brilliant, but Arsenal, even though I've never been like massive fans of them, but even a couple of years ago, Arsenal were like good. Arsenal were way better than they are now.
Yeah, like Haaland's first season, so 22-23, like Arsenal were genuinely very good.
They were good, yeah.
Like they had the games where, and when a team, like a sign of a team winning the title, where when they're sort of meant to lose a game or just like, and they kind of just come back because they're that strong. Like that's what Arsenal were doing. I mean, they had a game against Bournemouth.
Yeah, I think Reece Nelson scored.
Where Reece Nelson scored. Games like that where it makes you think, okay, they can actually win it. Yeah. And they were obviously up top for the whole year. Like
they should have won the league that year because they chucked it, and you can't. In my opinion, you couldn't blame it on we didn't have enough players. City no, they were like 10 points clear.
They were way ahead
in like March, April.
Yeah,
and they fluffed it. So
and that's another thing with Arsenal now. I know everyone's saying it's done and it's like accepted, and obviously Paddy Power paid out and everything, but like, even if, let's just say, Liverpool was started to just lose games. Let's just say in the next 10 games they lost 5. Yeah. I don't even think Arsenal have it in them to come back anyway. Like mathematically, you see, in other years, I remember 21-22 when City won. Liverpool were 9 points ahead at one point that year. I remember like looking at it, like it was like 54 and 45. Yeah, and City were 45. You knew that if you start losing, City are going to come back. Like they absolutely will if you don't win every game.
Yeah.
Whereas Liverpool, they could put me on the right wing instead of Salah for the next game, and like City and Arsenal won't come back.
Yeah, Liverpool need, assuming Arsenal win every game, Liverpool need to get 20 points,
and they've got 7 games at Anfield.
Yeah, and that's assuming Arsenal win every game. But I don't think Arsenal will win every game. I think Arsenal will lose at least one more game and draw at least one more game.
Oh, for sure.
Which means Liverpool really only need to win 5 more games from 12.
And they've got 7 at Anfield.
Yeah, and Liverpool have to play Arsenal as well.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and also another thing, Arsenal don't have any forwards. They don't. Saka's not there.
Saka's out. When Eri got injured, even. Yeah. The 17-year-old kid got injured.
Martinelli. They got no forwards. So I just don't see. And also on top of that, they've got Champions League next week.
I don't know how.
I just don't know how they're going to win games.
Mate, they're in over their head. Like they need depth badly. Like
yeah, so badly. And also I think they've relied too much on Saka.
Oh, 100%.
And also that's why they're getting so many injuries as well. They don't have any. I'm not saying, okay, you can't. Not everyone can have a squad like Prime Man City a few years ago, but I do think Arsenal. Like, I saw something that I saw an Arsenal fan like retweet or something. They have, since Arteta's been the manager, they've signed like so many defenders and goalkeepers.
They literally just signed defenders
and defensive midfielders.
Yeah, CDMs. Like
they never get like a winger or.
It's crazy to me. Like,
or if they do, they'll let go of players. So I think it was silly. Especially now looking at Arsenal squad, they got rid of players like Emile Smith-Rowe, or they got rid of players like Reece Nelson, who could have easily been playing.
He could get in the team.
They easily could have been playing these guys now, and they could have easily got another centre forward.
Yeah,
because they got decent money for Nketiah. They could have got somebody or some.
That's the thing. I mean? Like, I have a theory. Obviously, there's no way to really prove it, to be honest. But I have a theory that Arteta is actually very stubborn, and the reason why he doesn't sign any forwards is so that when they go win something, he can be like, yeah, you see, because Havertz and Martinelli did it for us, and you guys didn't trust him, but I did because I saw the vision. Like, I have a feeling he genuinely wants the guys he has now to do it. Instead of just buying new people and being a bit ruthless, he kind of wants the people he has now, so then he can say, see. But I think that's stupid.
I don't think he.
No way of proving it.
I think
I just think he's really stubborn.
I think he would rather, if you said he could win by spending some money, he would. But I don't know why he doesn't, so I can't really prove it.
That's what I mean. Like, that's just a theory. I don't know. I just think he's very stubborn.
Strange. It's a strange one because Arsenal, it's weird because they're going to get top 4, obviously. So they'll get some more money, but they do need to. It must be frustrating if you're an Arsenal fan because I think, it always feels like they're just one or two players.
They're like professional losers. I don't know. They're like And also, I mean, I know it's online, so the real fans are at the games, but like they're the cringiest.
Oh no, but the fans at the games are like that as well.
Yeah, I mean, they are the cringiest.
They're just the worst. Like, no one likes Arsenal fans. They're just, like, they are awful.
They're just awful, and like it's almost like they take pride in their little losing story. Like everything is such a cinematic thing. Like, bro, just play the football match.
And
like, just like they every time they play City, the official club will post like a video of like a trailer to the game. Bro, just play the football match and win.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
Doing. That's why I really respect. I love guys like Lee Gunner who don't. They separated themselves from the AFTV where they're just up they're just up, the club and up Arteta. Yeah. They're like, mate, this guy doesn't want us anything. I don't like him. I want the club to win. Like I like guys like that, not these like story, like I don't know, like motivational speakers that are just like.
I know what you mean.
It's just stupid. I want a team that wins. I want if I support Chelsea. Obviously, I support Chelsea. I like a manager like Maresca who just said, "Look, that player's not good enough." Out and like he's.
I don't know. I'm not. I don't know if I'm a fan of Maresca, to be honest. I think
I like him.
He's okay, but like I think Chelsea could be doing way better, in my opinion.
I mean, maybe I do think
I don't really see any difference between him and Pochettino.
No, that's the thing.
I prefer Poch personally. I did like football was better as well.
I did like Poch. I mean, that's one thing I would say. I really liked Poch.
But a lot of Chelsea fans,
I don't think there's a huge difference in like their styles. To be honest with you,
yeah, there's not.
I think Maresca's good, but I mean, it's more about. Sorry, it wasn't really so much about him. It's more about just the mentality of the club. Like,
yeah,
I just like that Chelsea. We splash the cash on every summer and spend those money, but it's like we aim to win stuff. Whereas Arsenal, it's almost like they became good again after being a banter club for like a million years. And then it's almost like they're kind of just happy with putting pressure on City.
Yeah,
it's like City's little brother. I don't like it.
Yeah, Arsenal. It's a weird one. I don't really know what the answer is there, to be honest. I mean,
they need. I don't know who, because I don't know how many managers are about, but they need a manager that's gonna.
Oh, so do you think Arsenal should get rid of Arteta?
The thing is, it's easy to say they should get rid of him. I don't know who for though. But what I would say is, I just think, okay, they need better recruitment. Like that's the one thing I would say.
Definitely.
If I owned Arsenal, I'd probably give Arteta better recruitment and try and spend more money on better players for one, and then see how he does. And if he still can't seal the deal with a deep squad, then get rid of him.
Yeah, I think if I was Arsenal or an Arsenal fan, I'd probably be like, okay, give him one more year.
But like actually buy people. Don't give him a year with another CDM.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, they need to be like, we need to sign a centre forward and like another winger and maybe like a box to box in the middle.
Get a couple forwards. Get like players. You know what I mean? At that level, that's actually going to win you something.
And also as well, I think they should look at players that are. To be fair, they kind of have. I was going to say Premier League proven because they signed Havertz and they signed Rice, who are Premier League proven players.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I suppose you don't have to get Premier League players because you can get, I don't know, look at Liverpool. They signed Salah and he turned out to be one of the best players ever. So it's like, you never know.
Obviously, it's not easy to recruit.
Transfers is a gamble. Like,
it's not easy to recruit, but I would say, I mean, look at players that are doing well in other leagues or in the Champions League. I mean, like, I don't know, Atletico have Alex Sorloth. He's a good player. Or like,
but at Palace, he was useless. I remember when he was at Crystal Palace and he was useless. So you just don't. Football transfers are a gamble. It's like I remember when Chelsea. When Chelsea, I remember the summer when Chelsea signed Werner. Everyone wanted him, and you saw these clips in Bundesliga. He was incredible, but then he just never hit it off. So you just don't know.
It is a gamble, but what I'm saying, the thing is, I think the point we're trying to make is they don't even gamble.
You're right. They don't.
They don't even do that.
They spend a lot of money on, say, Rice, who I think is an incredible player. But
love Rice, but
spending that much money on a defensive midfielder, that can only take you so far.
Yeah, like
he can't change games.
Rice ain't gonna win you the league.
No.
Like the only kind of midfielder that could win you a trophy is like a Gerrard. Like you need like someone that can do everything. Whereas Rice is like he's great at retaining the ball. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a brilliant player.
But yeah, I agree. Win you a game. Like no, he's won them games, but he's not gonna win you a trophy. Like you know what I mean? Like
he's not gonna drag you through. Yeah.
You know, you get like every Arsenal fan is obsessed with Isak kind of thing. Like they need an Isak. They need.
He would be a perfect player.
He would.
Yeah, he would. He would. All right, we can wrap this up.